Okay, students, good morning to all of you. And this is our 13th lecture where we are continuing with the political science lesson that is from judiciary. And today we are going to cover the last part of that topic. Lesson is, does everyone have access to the courts? Now have a look, just a quick recall of whatever we have learned in the previous lesson. So we have talked about judiciary, why it is independent, why it has to be independent, then what is the court system on district level, state level, and central level. Then what are the three functions of judiciary, what they all do. First thing we talk about dispute resolution. Then we talked about reviewal. Then we have talked about the upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Then with the help of that figure, we have explained you the structure of court system in India, correct? Then next, we talked how exactly the process of hearing and passing on the judgment is done in the court, and how you can appeal in the higher court if the justice according to you is not given in the lower courts. So that all we have learned previously, correct? So continuing with that, I'm going to start, does everyone have access to the courts? Now you might be knowing about, or you might be aware about the civil case and criminal case, that also we have talked, correct? So you are well versed with the examples. Okay, so I'm reading the content from the textbook. Does everyone have access to courts? Now I will be reading the content, then we will go back to the PPT. In principle, all citizens of India can access the courts in this country. This implies that every citizen has a right to justice through courts. So this is important, which is our fundamental right. As you read earlier, the courts play a very significant role in protecting our fundamental rights. If any citizen believes that their rights are being violated, then they can approach the courts for justice to be done. Correct? But there is a process that we will read it about. While the courts are available for all, in reality, access to courts has always been difficult for a vast majority of the poor in India. So you will come to know from the word only, poor in India, why it is not accessible. Now here you may relate this heading with individual to yourself. But we are talking about each and every citizen of the country. Court is available to me, court is available to you because you are living in a developed urban areas. Correct? We can spend some money on it. We know our fundamental rights for which we should fight for. We know that all. But this is not the situation in villages. So that is why they are talking about the poor in India. They do not have that access. Why they do not have? We will read it. Legal procedures involve a lot of money and paperwork as well as take up lot of time. So this is very important reason behind that. Why many people are still not approaching the court? Because it spend lot of time, it spend lot of money, lot of paperwork is needed. Most of them are illiterate, so they were not aware about the documentation and all. So that is why it is not accessible to the people. For a poor person who cannot read and whose family depends on daily wage, the idea of going to court to get justice often seems remote. Means they are earning their livelihoods on daily basis. If they spend their time instead of doing work and earning money, if they spend their time in courts, so then how they will earn the money? Then how they will survive? So that is why most of them avoid to go to the courts. That way they can earn money. In response to this, the Supreme Court in the early 1980s devised a mechanism of public interest litigation, or PI. This is a very important concept that you should be aware of. Public interest litigation, or PIL, to increase access to justice. It allowed any individual or organization to file a PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court on behalf of those whose rights were being violated, whose fundamental rights being violated. So against that, you can approach in the court and you can file a public interest litigation. The name itself suggests public interest litigation. That means it should be in the interest of public. Why? Because of our fundamental rights. That's it. Okay. The legal process was greatly simplified, and even a letter or telegram addressed to the Supreme Court or the High Court could be treated as a PIL. So, how to make it easy for the people for whom it is not easily accessible? So, for those, this is a provision. And how they made it more simplified means you can write a letter and you can post. No need to go personally over there. You can send a telegram. Okay, so that way also you can do it. In the early years, PIL was used to secure justice on large number of issues such as rescuing bonded laborers from inhuman work conditions and securing the release of prisoners in Bihar who had been kept in jail even after their punishment term was complete. Did you know that the midday meal that children now receive in government and government aided school is because of PIL? Means they made a law that we have learned in understanding law. What is that? How the law is made. Now why there is a need to make a law for providing midday meal to the children who are underprivileged? So they are not having access to good food. They are not getting the nutritious food. So, under this PIL, we can file a complaint and justice can be taken. And so, this midday meal scheme was introduced in the school, which is aided by the government. Aided means it is funded. Money is provided by the government to those schools. See the photos on the right and read the text below to understand how this came about. Now in photo 1, in 2001, the drought in Rajasthan and Orissa meant that millions faced an acute shortage of food. So this is the drought condition in Rajasthan and Orissa. Photo 2, meanwhile, the government godowns were full of grain. Often this was being eaten away by rats. On the contrary, what was the situation in other parts? The godowns were full of grains. But what is the situation over in the picture 1? The animals were dying. People were having malnutrition. They were all suffering because of lack of food. In photo 3, in the situation of hunger amidst plenty, an organization called the People's Union of Civil Liberties or PUCL filed a PIL in the Supreme Court. That is Supreme Court. It stated that the fundamental right of life guaranteed in Article 21 of the Constitution included the right to food. This is also very important line, though it is not of the main part of your content, but it is very important article. So you have to remember this. It stated that fundamental right to life guaranteed in Article 21 of the Constitution included the right to food. The state's excuse that it did not have adequate funds was shown to be wrong because the godowns were overflowing with grains. The Supreme Court ruled that the state had a duty to provide food to all. म्हणजे एकीकडे फूड शॉर्टेज होतं, एकीकडे गोडाऊन्स भरलेली होती. So under the PIL or under the PUCL or under your fundamental right of life, you can ask for this. So what the Supreme Court has passed a judgment? The Supreme Court ruled that the state had a duty to provide food to all. In photo 4, it therefore directed the government to provide more employment, to provide food at cheaper prices through the government ration shops, and to provide midday meals to children. It also appointed 2 food commissioners to report on the implementation of the government scheme. So this midday meal scheme was a part of that problem where the government has tried that at least children should get a food, because they were lacking because of drought and shortage of food. So through these different types of judgments, Supreme Court look after the problems throughout the country and try to sort it out. Okay, through once it is filed under PIL or PUCL. Next, for the common person, access to courts is access to justice. The courts exercise a crucial role in interpreting the fundamental rights of citizens. And as you saw in the above case, the courts interpreted Article 21 of the Constitution on the right to life to include right to food. आर्टिकल 21 म्हणजे काय, आपण जसं शिकलो अंडरस्टँडिंग लॉज मध्ये, आपलं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन काय आहे, अ बुक ऑफ लॉज, अ बुक ऑफ रूल्स, सेट ऑफ रूल्स. सो आर्टिकल 21 म्हणजे इन शॉर्ट तुम्ही त्याला म्हणायचं नंबर 21 चा रूल. त्या रूल मध्ये काय आपल्याला दिलेलं आहे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशननी. सो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हॅज प्रोव्हाइडेड right to life, that include right to food. Okay, that is why they said Article 21. Huh? They therefore ordered the state to take certain steps to provide food for all, including the midday meal schemes. So this is a part one scheme where the government is trying to fulfill the Right to Food Act or Right to Food fundamental right. So this is one scheme only where they are coming. So they have to come with so many schemes, so where every citizen will be satisfied. However, there are also court judgments that people believe work against the best interest of the common person. For example, activists who work on issues concerning the right to shelter or housing for the poor believe that the recent judgment on eviction are a far cry from earlier judgments. म्हणजे आता तुम्ही हे जे 2-3 उदाहरणं घेतली, तर आपण जे म्हणतो ना, आपल्या 3 गरजा काय आहेत मेन, अन्न, वस्त्र आणि निवारा. या प्रत्येक माणसाला ज्यांनी जन्म घेतला या पृथ्वीवर त्याला या मिळाल्याच पाहिजेत. अन्नाबद्दल आपण बोललो, राईट टू फूड इन आर्टिकल 21. नाउ दे हियर आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द शेल्टर अँड हाऊसिंग फॉर द पुअर. Correct? While recent judgments tend to view the slum dweller as an encroacher in the city, earlier judgments like the 1985 Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation had tried to protect the livelihoods of slum dwellers. Now you might be knowing about the slum areas in and around your house. Why those slum areas are built up over there, developed over there? Because many of the people do come to the cities in search of job. They are poor, they cannot afford a house like us. So they set up their house on streets. So slowly they set up their house in slums. So in slum, there are again different type of problems like sanitation, health, illness, all these. Then you can talk about hygiene, providing electricity, road facilities, water facilities. Those are the problems in slum areas. So against that, municipal corporation has means in that case, these government authorities can file a case and they can give the correct judgment to those slum dwellers also, for whom the right of shelter, food, and it is a fundamental right. Now next, the judgment of the Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation established the right to livelihoods as part of the right to life. There is an addition now. Along with right to life, we have talked about right to life. Now here is right to livelihood, means to earn something. Huh? The following experts from the judgment point to the ways in which judges link the issue of the right to life to that of livelihood. So we will read about this. The sweep of the right to life conferred by Article 21 is wide and far-reaching. Life means something more than mere animal existence. It does not mean merely that life cannot be extinguished or taken away as, for example, by the imposition and execution of death sentence, except according to procedure established by law. That is but one aspect of the right to life. An equally important facet of the right is the right to livelihood, because no person can live without the means of living. That is, the means of livelihood means he should have a good life where he will get a good food, good shelter. That is meaning of all this paragraph. That the eviction of a person from a pavement or slum will inevitably lead to the deprivation of his means of livelihood is a proposition which does not have to be established in each individual case. In the present case, that facts constituting empirical evidence justify the conclusion that petitioners live in slums and on pavements because they have small jobs to nurse in the city, and for them there is a nowhere else to live. Now in this there are many new words. Those we can say actually the words which are typically used in the court cases. Okay. They chose a pavement or a slum in the vicinity of their place of work, or to lose the pavement or the slum is to lose the job. The conclusion, therefore, is that the eviction of the petitioners will lead to deprivation of their livelihood and consequently to the deprivation of life. So, this is they talked about the slum dweller who has the right of life. Now, next, another issue that affects the common person's access to justice is the inordinately long number of years that courts take to hear a case. That is why they have talked in the beginning, because it takes long time, it takes lot of documentation, it need lot of money. So that is why most of the people are away from this system. The phrase justice delayed is justice denied. Now means you should understand this. Justice delayed is justice denied is often used to characterize this extended time period that occur courts take. म्हणजे त्याला मराठीत आपण म्हणतो की जेव्हा तुम्हाला न्याय मिळण्यात उशीर होतो, तो उशीर म्हणजे ऍज इफ तुम्हाला न्याय मिळालाच नाही. सो दॅट इज व्हॉट जस्टिस delayed is justice denied. Okay, means in short they want to take how long the process is, how much time is spent for it. Now next, this is a data number of judges in India. You have to remember this also. This table is also important. There might be questions based on this in MCQ. So number of name of the court, Supreme Court. Sanction strength 34. Working strength 34 and vacancy 0, means there are already 34 judges in the Supreme Court. So this number of judges in India, that is the table. High courts, there should be these many judges, 1079, but only 655 were appointed. There are vacancies, means 424 judges to be appointed more. That is why this is also the reason, lack of human resource. That is why this could be also the reason behind this, justice delayed, justice denied. कारण आपल्याकडे तेवढा जर स्टाफ नसेल तर तुमची कामं पटापट होणार नाही. District and subordinate courts, this should be the strength of judges, actual judges, these many. There is a shortage of these many judges. Okay. So this is what administrative problem you can say. Other than this administrative problem, there is a problem of accessibility, there is a problem of financial need, there is a problem of literacy, because of which they won't be able to fulfill the documentation. All these are the reasons behind why the judgment is delayed. However, in spite of this, there is no denying that the judiciary has played a crucial role in democratic India, serving as a check on the powers of executive and legislature, as well as in protecting the fundamental rights of the citizens. We have talked about this many times during this lesson. The members of the Constituent Assembly had quite correctly envisioned a system of courts with an independent judiciary as a key feature of our democracy. So here our lesson gets over. Now I will show you the PPTs. Judiciary, does everyone have access to the courts? We have read the content. In an ideal world, this intricate nexus of judiciary should be equally available to the entire population. Means in short, in simple words, this system should be accessible to each and every citizen, no matter poor or rich, no matter powerful or from the weak section of the society. It is not so. It should be accessible to everyone. Accessibility is not just about physical distance of the courts from the places of work or residence. Accessible म्हणजे आपल्याला पटकन काय लक्षात येतं की मी पटकन तिकडे जाऊ शकेन का, ते माझ्या घराच्या किंवा ऑफिसच्या जवळ आहे का. So that is not the meaning of access. It is also about financial accessibility. Not everyone can afford the expenses of the procedure, the lawyers, appeals, etc. Better lawyers charge even higher fees. आपल्याला कोर्ट सिस्टीम मध्ये जायला तू आणि आपण काही कोर्ट डायरेक्ट ही केस नाही लढू शकत, तर आपल्याला एक लॉयर अपॉइंट करायचा आहे, हायर करायचा आहे. लॉयरची फी द्यायची आपल्याला, ते जे काही डॉक्युमेंटेशन करायला सांगतील त्याच्यासाठी आपल्याला पैसे लागणार आहे. So we spend lot of money in this process. It is also about administrative accessibility. In addition, the complexity and the time taken to resolve cases is a huge deterrent to filing and pursuing cases. म्हणजे हे पण एक रिझन आहे मोठं की का नाही पटकन आपण कोर्टात जाऊन आपली केस फाईल करत, कारण ही एक कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेस आहे, टाइम टेकन प्रोसेस आहे. If there is a system of making complaints in your school, would you be encouraged to make complaint if you had to pay a class lawyer 75% of your pocket money? So they are making it easy to understand. What is means we are spending lot of money means what? Now this is a simple example which you experience in school. If you are coming to school and if you want to give complaints against someone, class lawyer or class representative, so are you ready to spend 75% of your pocket money for that? Your complaint in standard 8 would be resolved after you graduate from college or both. So this much time has taken to pass a judgment. So would you prefer? There are times when a lower income group or a group that is situated far away from the courts cannot access the courts for one of the many reasons. There are activists and organizations that support these groups and file cases on their behalf. So this last second point is very important, where we are now going to connect this with the definition of PI. Okay. Here we are talking about the lower income group or group that is situated far away from the courts. So for that group of people we are talking about. These are called public interest litigations. So a group of people or activists or organization can approach the court on behalf of all these underprivileged people. What is the meaning of PIL? These are an important part of the way our country functions. PIL has led to justice for those who cannot fight for themselves and even to changes in laws. Some PILs might even lead to changes in the constitution. Correct? So these people, they are fighting for those who cannot go to the court. And if that case has a hearing in the court and if the judgment is passed on that, so that way, that group of people who are away from this court system will get benefited, correct? And if needed, because of these PILs, there could be some changes in the constitution also. We can make changes because ultimately we are looking for the fundamental right.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.